Hi everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Woo. So we are in between eclipses. We had a lunar eclipse last week, and on the 14th and 15th we have a solar eclipse. So the 2 weeks between eclipses are incredibly potent. They are described as the veils of this world, this physical world, and the spirit world being very thin. We are very intuitive, we're very telepathic, and these powers that we've always had are starting to really grow as the planet is being bathed in photonic light and these massive coronal injections from the sun. So we are leveling up. Our DNA is being restructured. What they thought was junk DNA is being turned on, and the idea of us being much more than what we thought and more powerful than we ever knew is really coming to the forefront. Now, this requires, as we level up, a massive letting go, a massive restructuring, both in our personal lives and in the collective. And these 2 weeks in between these eclipses, which are so potent, can cause a lot of anxiety because the change is so fast, and it can cause a lot of worry because we're flying towards the future, but more than ever, it's very difficult to see how it's all going to come together. And when that's happening, we're moving so fast and so many changes are happening at once. It's so important to get in our bodies, the physical self, the physical body, to get into nature and really root ourselves in like the physicality of the planet, and to be with our pets and to be around animals and even young children. This can really help ground us too. So this week we pulled samphire, which is a plant that grows near the coasts. It's also called sea asparagus or sea bean, and its key word is adventure. Then our crystal for this week is mystic merlinite. The ascended master for this card is Merlin. And the key energy around this crystal is about our intuition. It's about reading energy. It's about being able to see the truth no matter what is being projected at you, being able to see through that veil, through that projection, through those lies, whatever it is, right? And then our animal spirit is ant. Now we got this about a month ago. So let's start here with ant. The key word, well, the key sentence, the key phrase is time to collaborate. But when you think of ants and you see them, right? The hive mind, the idea that all these ants, so many of them working together for one cause. Now, what this really strikes me as is a reminder that you have help, you have a community, you have people around you who can help, and are you asking for that help when you need it? Because this can be mentally and emotionally very stressful time. I mean, this whole entire year has been. So as you end this year of 2020, which has created so many changes and so much upheaval, although there's also been many blessings and so many silver linings, where are you with your mental health and your emotional health? And do you need help? And that being said, I don't have a lot of room to be working with new clients right now, but I do have some slots for December. So if you're interested in a session, you can email me at info@thegoodwoo.org, or you can head to the website, thegoodwoo.org, and look at the services tab. So ant spirit, it's also about teamwork. Where are you maybe being too independent? Where are you isolating yourself too much? Now, I'm in LA where there's a shelter in place. So this would, for me, it's like reaching out with people in FaceTime and maybe like finding, people who are comfortable to, maybe what do we call like the underground COVID groups, whatever. It's about reaching out. If you're feeling that you're too isolated, then you need to reach out with a phone call or FaceTime or something else. Because it's also the holiday season. And for a lot of people, it's not a joyous time. It can bring up memories of past hurt and abuse and loss and grief. So reach out for help if you need it, and I can be one of those people for you. Let's talk about Merlin. So in the story of Camelot, King Arthur was tutored by Merlin, who was a great sage, magician, and wise man. So this is all about the archetype of the wise woman, the wise man within us, which really talks about that intuition of, you are not just a body. You are a soul in a body that has lived many, 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 many lifetimes and experiences. And maybe not all human, right? We don't really know where we're coming from when we're born. And we have ideas and we've created religions and philosophies. But this card is really talking about really accessing that wise, old, ancient part of your soul and listening to that wisdom, that powerful but soft and gentle voice within. Now, this also talks about, because these eclipses are heavily aspected by the planet Neptune, which the highest vibration of Neptune is mysticism, psychic gifts, connection with infinite spirit, music, art, photography, cinematography, storytelling, all the juicy, juicy, juicy bits of life. But the negative side of Neptune, the lower vibration of Neptune, is lies, deceit, disillusionment, lying to yourself, denial, addiction, drugs, alcohol, addiction to sex, addiction to porn, the things that pull you down and under in guilt and shame and cloud your ability to see the truth. So this is both saying you have the ability to see the truth of the circumstances you're in. You have the ability to be honest with yourself and others. But this is also a warning to, if your gut is saying something's off with someone or a circumstance, you're probably right. And that doesn't mean, we're still in a time right now where I would not be confronting things. I would not be starting fights. I would not be starting legal battles because Mars is still not out of its shadow. But it is a time where you can take those understandings, those knowings, your intuition that something may be off, and really start making a plan. And maybe even when your intuition feels off, to actually seek some help. What would the next action step be? Now, let's talk about samphire. So any plant that is a threshold plant, meaning it's on land, it exists where land and water meet. Talk about it represents our relationship with our emotions, which is water, and our intuition, which is water, and the earth, which is our body, the physical world, the 3D world. So this is about trusting your body's messages. So is this, right? Intuition is oftentimes our body giving us signals through sensation. So once again, I just want to share this because I shared it last week as well. It's very simple how we can get in tune with our body and what it's trying to say to us. You can ask your body, show me a yes. Show me what a yes feels like. And your body will show you. For me, it's like an open, expansive feeling. I also start feeling like warm around my head and in my hips. You just take note of what are those sensations? How does it feel? And then you want to ask your body, let that go, and then ask your body, show me what a no is. So for me, that openness I felt in my hips, it contracts, and also my jaw gets very tight. Sometimes my eyes even get tight, and I can feel just a tightness in my body, and it also in my gut. My gut stops being expansive and open, and it starts contracting. So this card really says to me, because it's a threshold plant, that our emotions and our body's connection may need some work this week. We may need to really ask ourselves, how am I feeling and where am I feeling it? So that we can move through it. And if you need help, right? If you need some community support doing that, you need to ask a friend. You need to, call a family member. You need to maybe enter a support group to be with people of like mind, or calling a therapist or a healer, whatever it is, to help you access your feelings so that it doesn't get stuck in the body. Because when we can't move these feelings through and we're not paying attention to those signals, that's when illness can occur. That's when our immune system is compromised. Now, this also, this plant has a bit of a crunch to it. It's a bit of a pop. It's like halfway between kelp and and lettuce in a way. So the idea of where is the, like, all of this Christmas holidays that are a little bit subdued because of the situation we've been in this year, where can you find those pockets of pop and fun and adventure? Still maintaining, staying smart about everything that's going on, but still finding the effervescence of holidays, the effervescence, that childlike wonder that always comes around. Now, this actually makes me think about these eclipses that we're dealing with, because this solar eclipse on the 14th and 15th of this month is in the sign of Sagittarius, and it's close to the great attractor. It's aligning with the great attractor, which is in some ways like the center of the galaxy, and even the center of maybe many galaxies. So this is about incredible amount of psychic downloads and higher consciousness information that could be flooding our systems if we're open to it, right? If we're reading the energy, if we're aligning with our bodies or feelings, and purging when we get overwhelmed emotionally, so that doesn't get stuck, so that we're still an open channel for this incredible amount of energy that may be coming through with all this eclipse energy. Now, all of these also speak to a major alignment of Saturn and Jupiter that happens on the winter solstice, and we are leading up to that, and I will be speaking more about that in future videos. But this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on the 21st, on the winter solstice, is conjunct in the sign of Aquarius, which is all about community. It's all about friendship, and it's all about equality. And this is the massive new beginning that we're all having, both in our personal lives and as a species in general. That new beginning really truly is about adventure, because it's going to feel so much lighter when these planets leave Capricorn. We are going to have a sense of wind beneath our wings, and a sense of understanding of how we are really here to make the world a better place and to help the collective grow and evolve. Now, this also speaks to this, because part of that Aquarian energy that's going to be coming forth is about this higher consciousness state. Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, which is all about those aha moments and the downloads that elevate you to the next level mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Now, it's also, Uranus is the planet of like surprise changes, fast and quick. And that is really what we're going to start seeing even more of. There are some events, and I'm not necessarily predicting anything in particular or specific, but there are going to be some major, changes, surprising, maybe things you thought were going to happen, but wasn't sure, or things in the collective and in politics and society that are going to just shift really fast. Now, there are also some things around equality that are going to take a longer time, because we do have Saturn now going to move through Aquarius. So these changes may take hard work, but they're going to last. But just in this eclipse cycle for December, and even in January, we have a major alignment with Uranus. Quick shifting changes, your change of mind, others' change of mind, right? So you may think it's one thing that you really, really want, and suddenly, boom, you've changed your mind, you don't want it anymore, and you're heading in a new direction. This all requires us to read the energy around us, to get clear enough emotionally and mentally that we can really see the truth of what we're being told, of what's going on, because there's facets and layers to everything you read and hear, right? So I hope this was helpful for this week. I think as we move into this solar eclipse, it's such a great time to really purge your home, your cabinets, get rid of anything that you don't love. Make room for this new energy coming in. And also, it's a time to really evaluate your relationships and think about, are you really in alignment with the people that you call your friends? Are you really in alignment in your romantic relationship? Another great question is, what are you here to do to move the collective forward? Where are you called to be of service? And how can you be of service? And to whom? And this leads me to the small things add up. You know, the tips you leave, the homeless people you may give money or food to, the people you let go in front of you in line, when you don't honk when you get frustrated, right? When just a simple smile to a stranger, even though we all have masks, the eyes are the smile anyway. And these small gestures can go such a long way this week in helping someone else navigate this tricky time that we're in. So wishing you all a wonderful week, and I will speak with you soon.